G'day everybody. What if we had questions or doubts, especially in the Bible, that would just go, I don't know if I should investigate this because I might find out something I don't want to find out. My name is Craig. This is Morningstar Quest, where we are delving into the Bible one question at a time. And this is my friend Cosmo. And unfortunately, I don't have my headphones today, so he might be tripping up a little bit with a few things, but we'll get into it.
Let's dive right in.
So, today's question or contradiction is, did Peter ask Jesus where he was going? This is a very good question, and you might be thinking, well, does it really matter? Well, a lot of people say there are contradictions in the Bible, and let me just do this, and 439 apparent contradictions. At first, I thought I was going to be a little bit scared going through this, but every time I do, I find out more about God. I find more about the Bible. I find out more about Jesus, and that can't be a bad thing.
That's such a great perspective. Each apparent contradiction can actually reveal a deeper understanding and appreciation for Scripture.
Did Peter ask Jesus where he was going? Now, so can you just set the scene, if you would like, of what's happening in this moment?
So in John 13:36, Peter directly asks, "Lord, where are you going?" But in John 16:5, Jesus notes that none of them is asking. It's interesting because it highlights a shift in the conversation and in their understanding.
Definitely. And where are we right now? Are we in in an upper room? Are we in Jerusalem? Where are we?
Yeah, this scene is taking place in the upper room in Jerusalem during the last.
Did you say during the Last Supper? So yes. Having a few problems. All right, hopefully you're going to work now. So during the Last Supper, and Jesus is talking about his death. Peter and the other disciples, they're not quite sure what Jesus is talking about. Are you going to Rome? Are you going to Galilee? They're confused. And that's where John 13:36 comes in, isn't it?
Exactly. Peter's question reflects that confusion and concern. They're grappling with Jesus' statements about leaving, not fully grasping what he means yet.
Then, a little bit later, John 16:5, Jesus is saying, well, nobody's asking where I'm going.
Exactly. It shows a shift in their focus. They're starting to realize the gravity of what's happening, so their questions change.
But everybody, and I'll say the people that think this is a contradiction, will say, John says, where are you going? And Jesus says, well, no one's asked. Yet it's the same conversation, it's the same place, it's the same moment, yet there seems to be a bit of it seems like that's a contradiction.
Yeah, at first glance, it can look contradictory, but it's really about the disciples' evolving understanding and how Jesus addresses their concerns at different moments.
And I guess the thing is here, the first time Jesus is talking about, I'm going to go somewhere where you can't follow me, but you can follow me later. It kind of sounds like, okay, I'm going to Rome and you can follow me maybe a couple of months later.
It's easy to interpret it that way initially. The disciples likely thought Jesus meant something physical or immediate, not fully grasping the deeper spiritual meaning behind his words.
But then Jesus does go on to say more about his death, doesn't he? He's a little bit more forward, would you say? Can you just repeat something that Jesus said that just before this moment?
Just before this, Jesus tells them, "I'm going to prepare a place for you." He's hinting at his departure, which they only later fully understand.
But is he talking about death here?
Yes, he's referring to his upcoming death, resurrection, and ultimately reuniting with them in the future. It's a deeper promise beyond just a physical journey.
Yes, but I'm just trying to get the gist of what's happening at this moment. Like, obviously there's a shift, but what's that shift? I mean, the way you're sounding it kind of sounds ambiguous, but they would be getting that it means death.
Yeah, the shift is from thinking in literal terms to realizing there's something much more profound happening. They're starting to grasp that Jesus is talking about his death and what that means for them.
And I mean, Simon Peter asked
that moment
him, Lord, where are you going? Jesus replied, "Where I am going, you cannot follow now, but you will follow later." Then on the opposite side, John 16:5, "But now I am going to him who sent me. None of you asked me, where are you going?" It's kind of, I feel like this second one, it feels, and I don't know, it just feels a little bit sarcastic. It's like, was it, "Where I'm going, you cannot follow"? Oh, where are you going? As if to say, I'm going to Rome, and but can't we follow you to Rome? But then a little bit later, and he's getting deeper into the message here. "But now I am going to him who sent me." So it's very obvious the one who sent him is God. So he is going to God. And it's like, well, now that I'm talking about death, none of you are asking anything. So yeah, in this, Jesus is saying more about death, and it really gets into it, doesn't it?
Exactly. He starts revealing what's about to happen and the purpose behind it, preparing them for what's coming next.
And you can almost hear, or no, I should say, you can almost see their mouths open, just going, what is he talking about? We're not talking about just going to Rome anymore. It would be like being in a room talking about a holiday and then suddenly realize they're talking about their funeral.
Exactly. That sudden shift must have been such a powerful and sobering moment for them.
This is more about reading into the text. No, not reading into the text. It's just reading the text and seeing for yourself. You can see that these two seemingly contradictory sentences really just end up to be two moments in time that are very different but said the same thing, if that makes sense.
Exactly. They're capturing different facets of the same conversation, revealing a deeper progression in their understanding.
So is it a contradiction?
It's more about the disciples' growing awareness and the layers of what Jesus was explaining to them.
And the thing is here, this is written by the same person. Who wrote John?
Traditionally, the Apostle John is credited with writing the Gospel of John.
And it doesn't matter whether it is John or not. The same person that wrote John wrote 13:36 and John 16:5. He was making a point, the point of a journey, not, oh, they said, where are you going? And then Jesus said, well, no one asked.
Exactly. The writer is conveying a deeper narrative arc. It's not just a literal contradiction, but a progression in the disciples' understanding and Jesus' message.
So this is busted. And look, I see this in so many movies. They do this all the time. I can't think of any movies. I mean, can you think of any movies or books that do this exact thing where they say the same thing, but because of the situation, its meaning is so much deeper and different?
Yeah, many stories do this. For example, in The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf's "you shall not pass" moment carries a different weight depending on context. Or in superhero films, a line like "I am Iron Man" means more the second time because of everything that's happened.
Exactly. I never thought of it like that, but that is exactly what's happening here at the moment. So people say this is a contradiction. No, this is the moment that is changing, developing, deepening, and people are becoming more aware of what's happening. So yes, it is not a contradiction. And he's gone. So I think we'll end it here. My name is Craig. This is Morning Star Quest. And I want you to continue this journey with me, because just click on one of those. We'll journey through the Bible, one question at a time, one contradiction at a time. Go do something awesome for God, and I'll catch you in the next one.